Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Austin here, bringing you guys a TvT matchup. This time on Entombed Valley. It's going to be between MarineKing Prime, the yellow Terran at the bottom left, up against Liquid TaeJa, the blue Terran at the top right. You may be wondering why I brought you two MarineKing games in rapid succession after I haven't casted a match of his in something like 6 months. It was just because I was looking at the matches I'd recently done. Few of them had been TvTs. It's been, I think, October 16th was the last time I brought you guys a TvT match. So I figured, why not? This is from the Iron Squid Chapter 2 group stages. This particular match is the losers match, meaning that both of these players lost their initial matches in the group stage. I think TaeJa lost to the Protoss player Brown, formerly of Slayers, and MKP went down to Scarlet. So this series is do or die. Whoever wins this, it advances to the final match. If you guys know what a GSL group format is, I've explained it in multiple other videos, but just look it up because it's annoying to explain. It's a bit of a tongue twister. And the loser's out. So this is game number 3. It was tied 1-1 prior to this between these two South Korean Terran Titans. And it looks like TaeJa just getting a standard wall off. Should be an interesting game. I would say MKP has been a little bit off his game. Just like my voice is a little bit off its regular pitch. Pardon that. I am a little bit under the weather right now, so if you notice a minor change, I should be good around the next video. It would kind of suck if you preferred my voice like this, because I would have to get sick every time I cast to be able to sound like this. But whatever, guys. I will recover quite soon. Hopefully quite soon. I'm at that point where I'm near the drop off from casting, and where if I don't get if my voice worsens at all and starts to drop off, then I'm not going to be able to commentate for like a week or something. This has happened at some of the worst points in the past when I've really said, all right, I'm going to bring you guys a lot of games, and then I end up falling ill and I'm unable to cast. So right now we see MKP going for a fast CC, quite unusually so, because TvT fast expand a little bit on the risky side if TaeJa plans on punishing this with some Banshee play. I have a High Masters Terran friend, Elite Legend, who I've watched a lot of his TvTs, and he personally tells me that you've got to be careful if you're going for a fast expand. You can be faced off against some serious pressure. Thing is, TaeJa hasn't quite scouted it yet, so unless he really has aggression in the back of his mind, then he's not going to be able to transition in time. I mean, he might be able to deal some damage, but if we look at his vision here, he's only now sending his scout out across the map. MKP playing very blindly greedy, because he doesn't have any idea what TaeJa's up to either. Our blue Terran just stopping at the Zelnaga watchtower, so he's not even going to go scout. It's going to be a little bit of a delay before he realizes what his opponent's up to. But TaeJa himself going for an expand far more delayed. So that greedy play there from MKP might pay off unless he's punished for it. We only have 1 Rax right now though from TaeJa, and multiple Raxes for MKP. He's already finished 2, and he's building his 3rd as we speak. He's pumping out 2 Marines and getting double orbital. TaeJa had gotten his main orbital much quicker. I'm going to say MKP might be looking to go for a strong timing, because he's going to have this second base up quite fast. Maybe a 10-minute timing or something of that sort. Or the same might be said of TaeJa, though his ideal army composition will only be finished a couple minutes later than MKP. I mean, he played smarter, but MKP just was playing greedy. I mean, had TaeJa said, look, I'm going to go for some blind aggression, he would have won the game outright. If he just went for some fast Banshee play, or maybe Hellion drops or something crazy, then MKP would have been really behind in this game. But thankfully for him, he's not faced any sort of threat. So, I mean, TaeJa had a summer of total dominance. I don't know if you guys paid attention. He won the Aces ROG, he won an MLG, won a DreamHack. It was really the summer of TaeJa. Heroes kind of, as I mentioned in past casts, Heroes kind of taken on the role now of the best player on Liquid, or at least the most achieved, because he did win DreamHack Winter 2012 over TaeJa in a 4-0 sweep. Not to take anything away, though, from the Korean Terran player, because he's been doing very well in Pro League. If you guys don't know what that is, it's a big team league in South Korea, with EG and TL partnering up to play in it. But MarineKing Prime, on the other hand, he was dominant in the early seasons of the GSL. He's made it to a couple finals and lost twice to MVP and once to Nestea. But, I mean, he's still been a force. Earlier this year, he won a couple of MLGs, or went deep in I think he won Winter Arena and then the Winter Championship, and then finished second in Spring Arena. So MarineKing had a nice run of success early, but he's been in a little bit of a slump since. Here's TaeJa running over the Hellion, beautifully done with the hold position micro on MarineKing's Marines with that amazing just wall of Marines. And sadly for TaeJa, he's not a Zerg player, he doesn't have Banelings. But it looks like our Yellow Terran player is grabbing his +1, his stim, and a factory in addition to 2 reactors on his rack. So it looks like he's going for probably some MMM, but can possibly just make a strong push out here. I mean, TaeJa's doing the same little trick here with his Marines, but he does not have nearly as many. It's 14-8, so TaeJa will have to hold if MarineKing decides to just say, why don't I just run out across the map and destroy my opponent's force? Though these Hellions microed very well against the Marines, going to deal a lot of damage and take a lot of damage, but they can be repaired, and MKP sadly does not have the infrastructure to heal up his Marines at this point. So TaeJa, on the other hand, going to grab his Siege Tech and +1/+1. MKP not going straight for Marine Tank Meta. Actually, that's very likely that he's going for Marine Tank Medevac, though he is building a reactor on his factory, so that's going to be a bit delayed. He'll probably build... There's a small chance he'll build a tech lab on his starport and then switch the 2 up after he's attacked with Hellion Banshee. I'm not sure how well that would fare, though, because TaeJa has some pretty nicely entrenched defenses here, though no hope against Banshees at this point, except for these Marines, which do not have Stim. Stim isn't even researching yet. He's only got a reactor on his racks. So MKP going to grab his combat shields. Marine Tank Medevac, as I've said a number of times in my past TvT casts, very common composition. It's positional play. It's how you manage to break your opponent's tank line or harass with your tanks, because you have to be extremely careful. If you slip up once, you can lose your whole force and thus the game. MKP, though, is no stranger to godlike micro. If we saw in that last game, go watch it before I spoil it for you. But against DMAGA in the 4th game of the Numerical M House Cup Finals, he was under attack by a massive force of Banelings and just had a clump of Marines like this, a couple of medevacs, and then just picked up the majority of his Marines as the Banelings crashed into a couple of them that were getting into a couple of Marines that were getting dropped out of the medevac. So he was just pretty much bombing Banelings with Marines, if that makes any sense, because he was causing them to detonate. Now it looks like our Yellow Terran is going to slowly creep out across the map. His bio fairly wounded. He might want to switch up the positions of his Marines so that the wounded ones are at the back, just like a Protoss would with Stalkers. Armory's on the way from both players, 3rd CCs as well. MKP again ahead on that timing. He's getting his +1 later than TaeJa is, because our Blue Terran is going to have his +1/+1 faster. MKP just has +1 weapons. He's getting concussive shells, NG Bay, adding on another NG Bay, and now running in here to the natural of TaeJa. The Marine split very nice because the tank's unable to deal too much damage to this bio force. A lot of the SCVs here vulnerable, and it looks like they will go down. TaeJa not faring too well, but he has a tank here on the high ground, and he will inflict some punishment on this clump of Marines. The tank will die, and a handful of the Marines will survive, and there's a well-won good game there out of TaeJa. Nicely done. There's the end of our replay, the end of our series. TaeJa knocked out of Iron Squid II, and MarineKing lives to tell another tale. I will catch you guys in the next cast. I hope you enjoyed this quick little TvT. Just wanted to change things up because it's been a while since I casted that top versus Maru game. See you guys next time.